Alrighty, top of the toilet to you fellas. Yesterday, I didn't even realize I got my first subscriber, I was in the middle of slapping together the hunk of junk that I uploaded yesterday, and that's when I realized, oh, first subscriber. So here's a little something from you to me to my pets. One, two. Aw, that's from two subscribers, mamas. I'm sorry, it's Coco's turn. Coco. 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 One, two. That's from subscribers. Hey, Bubba. Sit. Hey. No. Uh-uh. One, two. That's for my subscribers, Bubba. So now that that's out of the way, I decided to crawl out of my rock from yesterday and go back to the technology of Reddit, which is just blowing my mind. I'm basically just one of those old boomer people that you introduce to the internet and they just immediately type in like boobies or something like that. But I'm gonna go ahead and get into this. So the first thing that I woke up to was this obscure meme that made me laugh. Now, to those of you that don't know, if you or anything really, I guess, enters a black hole, once it reaches the event horizon, I believe it's called, you get spaghettified, or it's called spaghettification or something like that. And I may not be Italian, but I make pretty bomb spaghetti. Just saying. I'm just saying. I may not be Italian girlfriend, but I got that Italian girlfriend status. Okay, so don't mess with me. Don't play with me. This next one is also another lighthearted meme that I saw. I'll go ahead and read it to you. Lupe disapproves of Kendrick's treatment of Drake, defends Drake's hip hop status. Thoughts? How can Kendrick Lamar say Drake isn't part of the culture slash hip hop when Drake is selling more tour dates as a rapper than the supposed spokesperson for the culture? From Lupe Fiasco. Look, man, I don't mean to burst anyone's bubble here, but like Lupe Fiasco was a name that I heard growing up, in like the 2000s, 2010s, but I can't name a single song this guy did. Like I know he teaches college, like rap music in college to, I don't exactly know. How can you equate selling more tour dates to being part of the culture of hip hop? You know what I mean? Like just because Jay-Z is one of the highest selling hip hop artists of all time does not mean that he's down for the culture, right? You know what I mean? And I mean, Jay-Z is a phenomenal rapper and probably one of the highest selling of all time. I think pretty much all of his albums have gone platinum. But that doesn't necessarily make him the best rapper and the know all to the hip hop culture and stuff. And I'm not even deep into it like that, but all I'm saying is just because you sell more does not mean that you're woke more. That's all. Alrighty, this is something that maybe some people could relate to because I know I'm like this sometimes, but it's an Am I the A-hole? Let's just get into it. My wife told me that she could easily find someone more attractive than me if she wanted to, but she's afraid that no one would treat her the same way I do. Apparently, this was supposed to be a compliment, but I didn't take it as one. Okay, I mean, to be fair, it is a bit of a backhanded compliment now getting into it. It's like, yeah, I could find someone prettier than you, but they're not going to treat me as good. So I guess I'll take you. That's kind of how that like comes off. You know what I mean? Like it may have been meant as a compliment, but once you read into what was actually said, it's not really a compliment. I was just talking about my hair loss because my hairline has been receding. And when I asked her if she was still attracted to me, that was her response. Dude, that's messed up. Hey, babe, I think my hairline's receding. Oh, well, since you said it, I could definitely find someone better than you, but I'm not gonna because you treat me well. Anyways, I told her that it did not make me feel better at all and actually made me feel worse. Understandable. She said she didn't mean it like that and that she just appreciates the way I treat her. I told her that the way I took it was that she would go for someone more attractive if she knew she'd be treated the same. She said that wasn't true. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, when you word it like that, it definitely seems like she's just waiting for the next opportunity to jump ship, right? I mean, I guess maybe she's being honest at least, but still, man. I legit thought this was gonna be like an actual compliment, not one of those. I mean, I guess you're better than such and such kind of deals. He ends it with, now she's upset with me for not taking it as a compliment and told me I was overreacting, but my feelings are hurt and I feel like she's not attracted to me anymore because I don't understand why she'd say she could find someone else. If someone's like, yeah, I could find someone else better, that it's not going to make someone feel good. Like, I guess she was trying to compliment like his personality and stuff, but he was looking for reassurance on his physical appearance. You know what I mean? It's like I said, like if someone's like, "Hey, do you like this cake?" and you're like, well, it's better than cheesecake, I guess." And you don't like cheesecake very much. I'm just saying. It's definitely a backhanded compliment. So I don't know about you, but if I was ever in that situation getting a backhanded compliment, I'd probably do the awkward laughing it off, which is a perfect segue into this next post. Today I messed up by mistakenly laughing at a girl's dead fish. To begin, I work at a pet store, and working in retail, I have enough stories in their own. On their own? He probably meant on their own, or she. And I totally get that. Working in retail, any customer service kind of job, you're going to have stories on stories of a-hole customers or, people acting like toddlers. And you might even have some nice stories of, just kicking back and being cool with the guests. Or I was covering the register while the rest of the coworkers and managers were in their aisle. A girl around my age and her mother came in, and they walked to my side of the register, and the daughter puts a bag on the counter. A snack-sized Ziploc bag with a dead betta fish in it. I just stared down at it, completely stunned, like literally too stunned to speak. The mother says, "We brought this fish in a few days ago and it already died. Are we able to return it?" Okay, this lady deserves to be laughed at. Come on, you're returning a dead fish. I know that the betta fish aren't in exactly the best of conditions when you buy them from a pet store, but it's not on the pet store if you had it for a few days and then it died. That could definitely be on the owner for not knowing what the hell they're doing when they get a betta fish. I know they need like certain specific living conditions and stuff. Like, did they just go up to it and think it was like a goldfish, that you could just put it in a bowl and leave it alone? They continue. My daughter's really upset about it. The fish was only a few days old. So I let out a huff and a nervous laughter. It was my first response. That was my first response too, so I can't blame them. And the only thing my brain could come up with as a response was, "I'm so sorry, this isn't funny, but it kind of is. Let me ask my manager." Reminds me of a one time that I had a guest at a retail store, and it was also a restaurant slash retail store. Some of you may know what I'm referring to. A guest came, and I'm like, "Hey, how was your meal?" And they said, "Oh, it was awful." And they said it with such a like lighthearted tone that I thought it was a joke, and I laughed. And then I realized they weren't laughing, so I just decided, okay, they're gonna call for a manager anyway. So I just called one over. They took care of it. The manager talked to me and said, "Hey, try not to laugh at people when they tell you they didn't have a great time." And I tried to explain, like, he kind of said it like a joke, so I took it as one. It's easy, common mistake that happens for any customer service person. I didn't mean to laugh at her. It was just my response out of nerves. It took everything in me not to laugh in this poor mourning girl's face over a dead fish in a snack baggie. I walked over to my managers, to where my managers were and asked them in the midst of laughter what the policy is for dead animals. Thankfully, my manager handled it from there because I couldn't, for the life of me, keep it together. Okay, I laughed, but I wasn't going around laughing like that. I couldn't, it's not like I couldn't contain myself. I'm sure if I was in that situation, it might have been a little bit funnier, you know? The snacks that smiles back, go fish. But damn, they had a straight up laugh attack. Like they just could not keep it together, I guess. It was a little bit too much, man. You need to tone it down a little bit. But at least they were having a good time at work, even though it was embarrassing. Okay, this one is Am I the A-hole? And the title is, Am I the a-hole for refusing to attend my brother's wedding because he's marrying my ex-boyfriend? Now, that may not be the actual title, but I knew it was something along those lines. But when I cropped the photo, I guess I cut out some of the header, so my bad. It goes, I used to date Tom for 3 years. We broke up 2 years ago when Tom came out as gay. Okay, 2 years ago, it's been a minute. It was a tough time for me, but I eventually moved on, or so I thought. Fast forward to 6 months ago, and my brother James announces his engagement to Tom. Apparently, they started seeing each other shortly after Tom and I broke up. When I first heard, I was in shock. I felt a mix of betrayal, hurt, and confusion. Now that there's a bit of context, okay, yeah, I could understand being a little bit upset. Betrayal, it would only really be betrayal, I feel like, if what I'm trying to say here is just that this could have easily been avoided with just, a smidgen of communication. Just right after they break up, like, hey, I'm sorry, but I kind of have a crush on Tom or whatever. And then at that point, if the sister still has a problem with it, it's kind of on you. If you think you really love this Tom guy and you're willing to risk your relationship with your sister over it, then I mean, that's on you. I guess we're all adults here, but I mean, I get it. It's never a great feeling when you get dumped by somebody who comes out as not straight, or whatever you two are, and then they go and if they went and dated your family member after that, I guess it would just add insult to injury. So I get it, but I'm just saying a little bit of communication here would have went a long ways, it seems. James and Tom are now getting married, and my family is fully supportive. They've always favored James because he's the firstborn son and, frankly, the golden child. I've always felt the second fiddle, and this situation just seems to cement that feeling. I told my family I wouldn't be attending the wedding. I can't stand the thought of watching my brother marry my ex, someone I once loved deeply. My parents are furious with me, accusing me of being selfish and unsupportive. They say I should be happy for James and that I'm causing unnecessary drama. I mean, at the end of the day, though, like, if you're really not comfortable with it, they shouldn't force you to do it. It's not like under the circumstances, if these were my kids, I'd be understanding as to why my daughter wouldn't want to attend the wedding. You know what I mean? Besides, I mean, like, even if they do get married, I mean, they could always renew their vows or whatever, and maybe by that time they're okay. You know what I'm saying? Everything kind of takes time. I mean, yeah, it has been 2 years. Maybe she should be over it by now, but still, it's not fair to put your kids in an uncomfortable situation, unless it's like for their own good, I guess. But like, they're not going to be very many circumstances where that's the case. You know what I mean? Maybe to like push them out of their comfort zone to socialize or something like that. But that's like one of the few instances where putting your child in an uncomfortable situation may be for their own good. But I'm not a parent, so who am I to say? All right, so it continues. James confronted me, said he loves Tom and that he hopes I can put our past aside for his sake. He claims it's unfair of me to punish him for something beyond his control, but I can't shake the feeling of betrayal. I think it's incredibly insensitive of both him and Tom to expect me to be okay with this. Now the entire family is at odds. My parents have threatened to cut me off financially if I don't attend, and some relatives are siding with them. I'm feeling isolated and unsure if I handled this correctly. Yes, I think you handled it correctly, because I mean, ultimately you're just saying why you're uncomfortable over it. And in my opinion, I do think 2 years is long enough for you to have been over it. However, everybody moves at their own pace, right? Not everybody's going to be over this in the same amount of time that you are, So I'm just saying, though, like, if your family is really that, like, against you. You know, they're going to threaten to cut you off financially and do all this stuff because you're not doing what they want you to do. You know, that just goes to show you like their character, what they expect from you, you know. Their idea of you is more important than you as a person, it seems like. So, NTA. All right, this is another Today I effed up. And it's probably going to be the last one for this video. I am an absolute dolt. I have the bad habit. I didn't misread that. I have the bad habit of laughing when nervous or awkward on top of that. Ooh, it's another one of those. A twisted sense of humor and the ability yeah, goddamn. Okay. And the inability to control myself once I start laughing. Surprisingly, I don't laugh much, although I find humor in many things, and it's extremely rare for me to laugh as much as I did today. I'm talking tears streaming down my face, chest pain, and wheezing. God dang. So like, and as someone who's a smoker, when you laugh, you can't laugh too hard without coughing. There's just a certain point that you get to that it's coughing, and then you're like, all right, well, that was fun. But man, I had never had chest pains or wheezing from laughing. Like stomach pains, yeah. Like it felt like I just got off the Bowflex. I don't know, some machine for the abs. As you can tell, I'm not a gym goer. But so the background, I went to rehab in December of 2022, March of 2023. I got out and I'm currently in recovery. The place I got an open door policy. The place has an open door policy, so as long as you're clean and sober, you can drop by during the groups and socialize with the current residents. Well, two of them were chatting on the porch. One who had been there 2 days and is a bit of a smartass. We'll call him M. And the other is a fresh arrival. We'll call K. Not even 10 minutes into the facility, K is something we call all dressed, meaning his vices are to drink, the drug, and gambling. It ruined him. He was telling M about what brought him into rehab, highlighting that he lost everything after having had everything. M, smartass as he is, threw a lighthearted, at least you got all your digits. Cue to K lifting his two hands, one of which was missing a pinky. He said the most venomous, not really. I don't know exactly what triggered me, but the hilarity ensued. Yeah, I guess I could see that's pretty funny. Had it all, lost it all. But, you know, he's got most of his digits except his pinky. I don't know what these guys are really addicted to. I'm assuming it was, well, for that guy, it was drinking some drug and gambling. I've not met any drunks that have lost digits over their drunkenness or their alcoholism. So I'm assuming that it's maybe the H or lifted as to it. It is pretty funny, though. I would have laughed. I could not stop laughing. The timing, the tone, the irony. I dropped out of my chair, and as they stared at me in disbelief mixed with pure mortification on M's part and annoyance on K's part, I was trying to apologize between bouts of teary laughter. When I finally calmed down, they were still both staring at me after a full 5 minutes. Then they got up and left. A few hours later, M came up to me to express his anger and discomfort at my reaction to his humiliation. And I apologized profusely. I also practically groveled before K and begged for his forgiveness. All seems well for now. I mean, I don't know the full context. Like, I'm assuming that there are other guys that have, you know, lost more fingers than just the pinky. So, like, what I assumed by that was the person, like, is like the person in rehab that, you know, in all the shows they have it where they're like, yeah, I just don't feel like my stories are as good as you guys because I never found myself sucking chickens for drinks and stuff, man. Like, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this. Not really. Man, that man was hurt. He was like, don't you ever make fun of don't you ever laugh at my pain ever again. Ever. No. We'll do one more. All right, this last one. Am I the a-hole for lying to my husband that my sister is cooking the food he pays $750 a week for when it is me who cooks? Yeah, you're an a-hole. That shit, don't need to read it. No, I'm just playing. So my sister is a personal chef for some upper middle class families, mostly lawyers and doctors who work 24/7 but still want home cooked healthy meals. My husband always complained about my disgusting food and he called me worthless in the kitchen. Okay, hold on. That seems a bit harsh, just a little bit harsh. Useless in the kitchen. She can clean the dishes at least, right? Like, she can wipe down the counters, right? She can make some coffee and boil water at least, right? It's a little bit of an overreaction. It continues every time we are invited to my sister's or mom's, he would bite my head off about how they're better. I know for a fact that I am as good, if not better, because I was taught from the same chef, mom, who's literally a genius. Golly, you might need to find another husband. This guy seems kind of rude a little bit. I mean, maybe that's why she married him. So, you never know in these days. I had it up to here and said, fine, we can pay my sister for dinner. So for a year, he's been paying me $750 to pay my sister. When he comes home, he starts raving about how the whole apartment smells amazing from the delivered food and that only now he looked forward to coming home for dinner. God. I mean, at least he's honest, but geez, like, stop. You can sprinkle a little sweet in there with the salt, my boy. God. Jeez. This man is just going straight for the jugular. He didn't even. The thing is, it smells amazing, yes, but it is because the food is made in my kitchen by me. The only thing that has changed is that I put my sister's name on it and the bag of money. Oh, and bag the money. I put my sister's name on it and bag the money. Ha ha ha. Not even sorry. He is happy, I am richer, and my sister finds the whole thing amusing. Everybody wins. And I guess at the end they say she offered to work for her too. So, dude, I'm not gonna lie though. Like if I was in that situation, I could not like hold it in. Like I'm just too honest of a person. Sometimes I'd be like, yeah, actually, it was me who made it, and it's me who's been making it the whole time, and I've been keeping your money to buy myself shoes or whatever. Golly, I gotta say, this lady has a hell of a tolerance for aggression because I couldn't do it, man. I can handle aggression, but I cannot handle passive aggression. At least not to the same extent as regular aggression. Well, anyways, that's gonna be it for me. Do the thing that ever, do the thing that other, do the thing that other YouTubers tell you to do at the end of their videos, and I'll catch y'all later.